Good morning and welcome to Grief Talks with Zen Jen. I'm Zen Jen, and today we are going to focus on what it means to die well. Nothing breaks my heart more than when someone shares their grief experience with me and it is filled with guilt and regrets. They talk about all the things they wish they had done differently, and they focus on all the negative and hurtful things, beating themselves up in the process. Perhaps the biggest item of discussion is about how their loved one died, the horrible act of not dying peacefully because maybe they were too focused on trying to fight an illness and to live versus enjoying the quality of life they had left. I watched them wring their hands in frustration as they recalled countless doctor's visits, treatments and procedures, hospitalizations and ambulance rides. And then they looked at me as if to say, was it really worth all that? The fact of the matter is that in a lot of cases where disease and illness rock our worlds from the moment a diagnosis is made, we are struggling to understand. We are not clear on prognosis, or maybe we are not ready to accept that a terminal diagnosis has been made, caught up in denial and non-acceptance. In those instances, it is very important to understand that you are not alone, that most people react the exact same way, desperate to find an alternative answer or someone who will tell them a different truth. They seek second, third, and fourth opinions or travel great distances to find treatments or cutting-edge clinical trials that might be just the answer you needed. The problem with that is that initially, your loved one may have been on board with all the fast-paced, glove-to-glove ringside battles with their disease. They, like you, want to live and be present for you and their family. However, there comes a point in most cases where all the running and fighting begins to wear their bodies down, and they struggle to find not only the will, but the strength to keep on fighting. When this happens, it is so important for us, the ones who will soon be left behind, to notice this change, and instead of begging them to continue fighting or going back for more treatments that promise to make them feel desperately sick and weak, let them make the decision to die well. What does that mean? Dying well means acknowledging that a bad thing is happening, that you have fought hard and proudly, but that you are tired and wish to spend your remaining days savoring your strength. You wish to avoid hospital rooms and needle sticks, taking medication that makes you nauseous, and you want to enjoy the time you have left surrounded by the people you love and be comforted by your surroundings. This does not mean that you have given up on life or that you are ready to die. No, it just means that you have accepted that the outcome will not change and that it is better for you and your family to discover the art of a peaceful death. By that, I mean one in which we are not in pain or distress, that we are not being rushed to the emergency room or having our chest pumped on in a frantic measure to preserve one more day of suffering. Dying well means letting go of life-saving measures that will only prolong the inevitable and instead allow nature to take its course. Nobody agrees that this is easy. Instead, it goes against the grain of what we want for ourselves and for our loved ones, but it does allow us to cherish the time we have left, to truly be focused on the love that we share, and to be present in the moment instead of rushing to the next treatment. The best treatment at this point is to honor our loved one, their minds as well as their bodies, and give them the gift of understanding. Let them know that you understand their desire to die peacefully and try to assist them along the way. The gift of this time together, unimpeded by life-saving measures, allow for precious memories to be shared and to be built upon. Hold their hand and forgive them for giving up the fight, for leaving you behind, because it was all for you that they fought so hard in the first place. Well, there are many, many questions and emotions that arise when we are faced with the end of life, and it is perfectly understandable that we struggle to understand and wrap our minds around these circumstances. Again, I just want to encourage you to be both mindful and present of everyone's feelings and work towards meeting them where they are at, even if you are not ready. Thanks for listening. I'm Zen Jen, and be sure to tune in next week for another edition of Grief Talks.